Hi, everybody. I'm Cindy Sorley from Vertical Actors and Network. And today we have, to me, it's a very, very, very special guest. And I know to all the fans out there, I want to introduce everybody to Harrison Keene.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Cindy. It's a
Oh,
pleasure to
I'm
be
so
here.
excited. So I know a lot of people are going to ask, where are you at now, Harrison? Where are you located today?
Where am I located today? Today I'm located in Sydney, Australia.
Is that where you're from?
That is where I'm from, yeah. I'm at home.
Like the city of Sydney or one of the suburbs?
Like the surrounding suburbs.
Okay,
But the
because
general Sydney metro area. Yeah.
so my cousin lives in Pennant Hills.
Oh,
And
that's actually not too far.
really? Yeah, he runs
Yeah.
Foxtel Music. I'm not. He used to run Foxtel Country Music Station, but now he runs Apple. He's works for Apple
Wow.
Music.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
American, but he's been over there for 40 years. I don't know. And then my other really, really good friends live in Wyong.
Yeah, that's a bit further away. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Nice.
awesome. So I'm so excited we finally were able to connect. I know it's early morning for you, evening for me. I just got off work, so bear with me.
Was it a
But
good day? Good day at
it was
work?
it's a good day. We're closing down we're consolidating our business so that I can try to be in Los Angeles more. So
Oh, nice.
I own a needlework store, and I've made the decision since I'm doing some management of some actors and I'm doing some casting and stuff that California is just kind of where I need to be. Um, it probably won't be permanent. I'll still keep my house here in Utah, and I still have my boys and my grandkids, my husband, you know, but I'll be out there probably 2 or 3 weeks a month. So
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah, it'll be kind of fun. So let's get to know Harrison. So born and raised near Sydney, and how did you tell me how you got into this acting thing and how you got into verticals?
So, acting as a whole, I had done it during school and I really enjoyed doing drama class and like the school musicals and that sort of stuff. And then I took a break when I went to university to do a computer studies degree, which is very similar, as you can probably tell.
Yeah,
And
so
then, yeah, so similar. And then after that, I said, I'm going to try to do acting professionally. And I've been doing it for the past 3-ish years. And yeah, it's going pretty good, I'd say.
so you got your degree in computer,
Yeah, I've got my degree in computer studies, technically information technology. It's more business fancy.
and then did you work and just go, no, this isn't for me. I want to go back to acting, or I want to get into acting.
Well, as a part of the degree, I did a few 6-month internships with companies in the software space, and I worked for them for a while, and like during my university degree, but I just didn't like it all that much, and so I was like, well, let's give what my number one choice was coming out of school. Let's give that a go, which was acting and trying to be in TVs and movie and all that fun stuff.
Wow. So you started acting in Sydney in like TV shows or horizontals or
There's not a whole lot of work in Sydney, so I haven't been in a TV show just yet, but that is on the bucket list to do.
awesome.
Um, which is actually kind of where verticals came along and became a major part of my career to date because they became a lot more common in both the international and local acting space. And they provided a lot more work opportunities for actors who aren't at that top level where you're getting cast for TVs and for big movies and that sort of thing. So they kind of provided more work for all of us actors who were kind of at the bottom or in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but verticals have been a big step to help you get seen and to help
Oh
people
yeah,
notice you.
for sure,
But
for sure.
so you film a lot in the verticals in Sydney, but you also do a lot in China.
Yes, I have done a few in China. That's for sure.
Yeah. Any issues? I mean, it's funny because I'm on sets in LA, and one of the platforms wanted me to go to China to do a story on them, and people are going, no, 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 don't go, don't go, and I'm like, why not? I think it sounds really exciting. I would love to go. And then I hear different people go, no, 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 no. So I'm hearing yes, and I'm hearing no. But you've had a good experience.
I've had mixed experiences. I think you should go. I mean, you may as well experience it for yourself. Um, One thing I found is that I think it's more of a shock for American actors who go to China rather than Australian actors who go to China, because I think the difference in production and just generally what happens on and around the set is a lot more different in standards from China to America rather than from China to Australia. So it's not as big of a shock for us, but then for the Americans coming over, it's like probably more of a drastic shock. And that's where you get the cases where it's like, oh my gosh, I did not like this at all. Which can also happen for us, but I feel like it happens less.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, in the US, standard to work 12-hour shifts. In China, I've heard 16 and even more. And then having to turn around pretty quickly, like 8 hour turnaround or whatever. And you're like, I just want to sleep. So I'll
Yeah.
see some of the actors that'll come and they'll be sleeping on set, between breaks and stuff like that. So,
So yeah,
but
some of the standards just go out the window a little bit. Just different sort of work cultures.
yeah, yeah, I know there's a little young girl in Sydney, from Sydney, that goes to China. She's been over 3 or 4 times. She's worked with my friend Liam Silbernagel, and she just loves going over there. So oh my gosh, I can't even think of her name. Booker. I can't. That just crossed my mind. I just lost her name. But so you've done now how many verticals? 12?
Yeah, something like that. I forget.
Yeah. Do
It's
you even
around
watch?
that area.
Yeah, I think it's around 12. Do you even watch them? Do you watch them when they're done?
I watch my bits. I don't watch all of them.
So you like
I
skip
watched
through?
all of The Summer I Turned Bad.
Oh,
That was the one I watched the most of. But no, apart from that, I just watch my bits.
that's awesome. That's awesome. I always wonder, I've asked other actors, do you watch the movies you make? They're like, no. Why would I? And I'm like, well, don't you want to see how you did? And they're like, no. And so it's kind of funny. But I loved you in that summer. Oh my gosh, the summer I turned bad. That was like one of my favorite movies of 2025.
It was a really good production all round. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet Felix last week, so
Yeah?
I I didn't tell him that that was one of my favorite movies. I didn't tell him that. He was on set with Sarah Milisky and Tyler Scher, and I really enjoyed Felix. We had a really really good talk just about the industry and all the tropes, and going back to China, talking about the tropes, the banquet scenes, the bullying, the slapping, the abuse, and we tend to see that more in the Chinese made on the Chinese made platforms than we do on, as we're starting to see more and more American platforms come out. And so I know he's been very vocal about it, that he doesn't care for it,
Mm.
and so we had to talk about that. But he's wonderful. I was it just wonderful to work with him and Kayla.
Yeah, they're really good actors, and nice people. And so it's always great when you get a good group of cast members that are nice and really good at their jobs as well.
And both
Yeah,
of them are in my top. Both Kayla and Felix are in my top level of
yeah,
actors. I think both of them are incredible.
yeah, they
And
are.
I just think that movie was just such a beautifully done movie. It was so well done. But now, of all the verticals that you've done, which one's been your favorite?
Can I say the Jewel?
Yeah.
The original series on Instagram?
Yes, you can say that.
I think that's my current favorite. Maybe it's because it's original and created by myself and Dan, or maybe it's because I've got a lot more screen time in it than some of the other verticals. But I really enjoy making this, and we're about halfway ish through season 1. An episode just released this morning. I'm not sure if you've seen it,
I haven't
but
seen it yet.
no,
So,
okay, episode 13. It's a really good one.
so for everybody that doesn't know about it, will you explain it? And oh my gosh, it just the whole thing is just so fun. So explain it to us.
Okay. So The Jewel is an original vertical short drama on Instagram created by myself, Harrison Keane, and Daniel Jongma. And it's about two males who are posed against each other. This conflict started by an initial theft, but there's a lot of underlying backstory that goes into it. And the big kind of plot is that they're coming together and they're going to have this big duel towards the end of the season for glory, for vengeance, for pride, for all these little underlying factors that are slowly being revealed. It's mystery, it's suspense, thriller. There's some heartbreak in it, and I really enjoy creating it.
So did you write it?
Yeah. Well, I have created it alongside Dan. We have a very kind of make it up as we go strategy at the moment, just trying to get it made and out. So it's not like we've got the general story and plot line in our minds, and we've consolidated over that. But the specifics of each episode and the specifics of what gets said, it's very off the cuff, very episode by episode.
So now you're filming each episode separately, and you're doing this on your own, you and Dan. And do you have like a film crew that does all this with you?
No, this is just us filming on our iPhones. We've
I just,
yeah,
I
Dan's
just,
had his girlfriend Rachel to help him out, which is awesome for him. And I've just been using a tripod for most of the shooting. But yeah,
and then you guys
we
put
make.
it,
Sorry.
and then you put it together. Your parts and his parts, or do you film it like in sequences and then you merge it together? When
We
you,
basically just so most of the episodes contain one of us, but not both of us. So those ones we can shoot and produce by ourselves. The episodes that contain both of us, we meet up, we film it together, and one of us edits and puts it out. Yeah.
it's so funny because you two together are so opposite in so many ways that it just works. You know, it just works. And I just think it's such a cool thing. And I'm so glad you brought that up because it's one of my, it makes me smile, you know, I just go,
That's awesome.
what, so is this going to be a continual thing? I mean, you're on episode 13.
Yep, episode 13 released today, and I'm kind of bummed that you haven't seen it yet because I would have loved to talk about it, but you're gonna love
Oh,
it when you watch it. You're gonna really love it. It's a
well,
good
you can
one.
talk about it. I don't care. I just,
No, I can't spoil it for you.
yeah. So the thing is I had to work, that day job gets in the way. And that's why it was
Yeah.
scheduled because of our time difference. So, but, so do you have anything coming up? Do you have anything in the plans other than Jewel?
Other than the Jewel, no vertical series currently on the radar, but as you probably know, they pop up with like a week or two notice. So I could be shooting one in a couple weeks, who knows? The general plan for Harrison, and I don't think I've shared this publicly yet, so you might be getting the scoop, Miss Cindy, is that I'm going to move to Vancouver this year. Yeah.
What? Are
Yeah.
you so excited?
I
Now,
am
do you guys
very
have a
excited.
reciprocity? Do you have a reciprocity thing? Australia have a reciprocity with Canada, or do you have to get a visa? Or how does that work?
Yeah, I have to get a visa, and that's currently being processed. It's nearly done, I think. But it's a very simple visa because they're both Commonwealth countries. So it goes through very simply. I'm not sure if that's a word. Simply, yeah. Rather than the US, which is a lot more of a complicated visa to get. So that's why Canada was the move, because, and Vancouver specifically, was because they have a lot more acting work there than here in Australia. And I wanted to grow more in my career, and it seemed like a logical next step.
Oh, that is just incredible because I know there's not a lot down there in Sydney, or anywhere in Australia, basically, nowhere and anywhere down there. So, and is it just so hard for an Australian actor to try to get the visa for America? Like the old, what is it? You need an
The
HB1 or an O1.
O1 is the usual that we go for. I haven't personally tried to get it yet, so I'm not sure the level of difficulty. I've heard it is difficult. You need your proof of like professionalism and the articles and that sort of stuff. I don't know the specifics, but yeah, Canada was just so much simpler to get,
Oh, you're
and
gonna be so busy. You're gonna
yeah,
be so busy. You're gonna
yeah,
love
I
it.
look forward to that bit.
Yeah, and Vancouver is such a beautiful city. My nieces and nephews all live there.
Oh,
My
really?
husband, yeah, my husband's brother is married to a Canadian. My niece owns a dance studio in White Ridge or White Rock. My nephew's a teacher in Mission. His wife's a nurse in Vancouver. So Burnaby, Delta, all of that area is all family. And I get up there quite a bit to go see them. But you're gonna love it. How exciting for you! So when is this gonna happen? You're just waiting for the visa?
Yeah, I need the visa to finish, which I estimate will be a couple weeks, and
Oh my God.
then I also need money. I
Yeah.
need a good source of money, so that's the
Well,
other
we
main
we could
focus.
we could start a crowdfunding. Get Harrison to Canada. We could start that. You know, it's
I'm trying to like find ways to create recurring revenue. That's the thing, so it can cover like monthly expenses.
yes, because
So
Vancouver is not cheap.
no. So
It's
that's my main
expensive.
focus as of now.
Yeah, yeah. So, but aren't you writing? Aren't you doing some writing and stuff? Um, I thought you were. Are you guys
Uh
just?
oh, right. No, for the Jewel, we're creating stuff. Um, in terms of writing, were you referring to the scripts page?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a project that I haven't touched in a while, and I should probably get back to. It's a it's an AI powered workflow that generates a full vertical style script using a handful of user inputs, prompts essentially. So like theme, genre, a couple characters, and then you input that and it turns it into a full vertical script in a matter of 24 hours. Yeah, I created it late last year, but I haven't touched it in a little bit. I probably should, but I don't know.
You could get some money. You know?
Well, yeah. I don't know if people
Have
buy it. It's money.
you sold one?
No, I haven't sold one. I haven't really marketed it yet. I've just
Yeah.
built the
Yeah.
technical side of it.
I remember when I first heard about it, you were talking about it one time and I was like, that's really clever. Clever idea. So we're going to
Yeah.
have a little contest to see how Harrison can make money to get to Canada. We're going to think, you know, there is that Magic Mike, dance club there, or whatever. I'm just kidding.
I need to
I
lean
could
down
just,
more for that. I need to get the six pack going.
yeah, that's so funny. People say, oh, Jesse Morales, he used to be in that, Magic Mike dance club in Las Vegas. And I'm like, well, they have the hot guys from Australia. We could put Harrison in that, you know? They travel all over America to do that.
I don't
So,
think I'd suit it that well. I probably
you
laugh
don't
at
think,
myself too much.
oh, that's funny. Well, how exciting for you. Go. There's so much work there, in Canada, a lot of opportunities, a lot. Now, are you able to, since you're going to be doing, you've done China, you're going to do China, probably continue to do China. Can you work in other countries like Lithuania, Turkey, where they're also filming? Does
Yeah,
that all fall?
that yeah, most of the time it's fine. Actually, the summer I turned bad shot in Turkey, so we went over there for that. And I would love to shoot in other countries that I haven't shot in. I'd love to experience that. Lithuania sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I've never been to that little part of the world, so I'd love to do that or anywhere else. Did you see about the first vertical that was created in Africa that got posted on social media the other day? Yeah, the
They sent
indie
me a link
creator.
to it. Yeah, they sent me a
Yeah,
link to it. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
they're
Um,
so awesome. They're like literally building their own industry there.
yeah, yeah.
This
They
team.
I don't know if she was the actress or the producer, the director, whatever, but she sent me a link to it and said, I'd love for you to review this. And I'm like, okay. And then it dawned on me what it was, and I was like, okay, I will definitely do this. You know.
Yeah,
So I just haven't had a chance because I've just been so busy with the business trying to decide what I'm going to do. Plus, I had to buy a new car to take to California. I mean, not a new car, an old used car. But I'm out there so much. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to drive. It's a 10-hour drive and then leave my car out there, you know, and fly
yeah.
back.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, because I was renting a car every time and it was $500 or $600.
Do you go out
So I
there
thought
often?
every month for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it's
What
turned into.
what do you do when you're over
So I do a lot of so I'm casting for a company in Atlanta, but I go on sets a lot and talk with the actors and meet with them and do BTS. And so I've been on 19 sets now.
there? Wow.
19 vertical sets. Yeah. Yeah. And in fact, I got a movie coming out tomorrow or tonight at midnight on
That's
Flare Flow.
awesome.
Yep. So I was invited out by Flare Flow to go out and be on set to see, so I could learn about set and everything. And I'd been on another movie that was on like Up TV or GAC or something a couple of years ago. A friend of mine was a director and invited me. And so she said, Angela Liu, who invited me, said, would you like to be in the background? And I go, sure. So I think I'm in it like 8 or 9 times. And so I'll find out. So the director said, yeah, every time we see Cindy, we're going to have to take a drink. And I'm like, well, we'll be drunk by the end of the movie. But I don't know how much they kept. I was like, I've been in this so many times. How much are they going to keep? And they go, oh, we don't throw anything away in a vertical. We keep everything and try to fit in. So, so we'll see. We'll see.
Let's go.
And
This
then,
is the start of your acting career, Cindy.
oh yeah, no, 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 that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I was on a Danny Farber set the other night, and he threw me into a engagement scene, and then I was on another set, and they put me in like in a bar. It's only my back, but it's going to be pretty funny.
That's
You know,
awesome. That's so
yeah.
cool.
And then with Cayman Cardiff, I was in a a scene at his concert. So we'll see. You know, it's not going to happen. But anyway, when I go out there, I meet with a lot of the platforms, talking to them about, where we would like to see verticals going and stuff like that. And that's a question for you. I'm sure you've seen it all in all your movies. Like, you've got so many. The typical heiress movie. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, Runaway Princess Secret Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that one. Contract Marriage Before Election.
It's an oldie. Yep.
Yeah, that is an oldie, isn't it? The heiress Blackbird. No, the heiress blacklisted her husband. I mean, I'm coming up with some of your older stuff, but what where do you see the vertical industry going? Obviously, you must believe in it if you're moving to Vancouver for work.
Yeah. Well, I think it's only going to get bigger. Um, I think it will transition more towards. I think it will become better as well, which is great because competition creates innovation, and people and companies want to produce the better content than their competitors. So it's going to lead them to producing higher quality content and higher quality stories. And the money is probably going to bring in bigger companies and bigger teams from the big streaming platforms to big production studios. They'll probably start creating verticals at some point or have like a little branch of their bigger company dedicated to creating verticals, which means it's probably going to bring in more money, better quality, more actors, more crew, and generally just grow, which is a positive, I think.
And I agree. I agree too. I just wish they would quit with the recycled stories. We've seen 99 Charms and 99 Wishes and 99 Beads and everything, so many times. And how many young adult high school movies do we need with the bullying? It's like, really, there's so many other stories out there. We've got a pirate movie coming out, more, I like the old romance, the enemies to lovers, but we don't need a 43-page banquet scene. So I'm hoping that we're going to see some more stories along the way, and not so much like Hallmark, because that's a typical story. We know the ending. It's just a change of character, occupation, location. But some of these stories have been really, really interesting. The Summer I Turned Bad, I absolutely love that story. I loved everything about that. I thought that was so well. And if we could find more movies and get more movies like that, I think that the vertical space is unlimitless. Is there's so much that could happen. I read today that they're saying it's going to be a $26 billion industry. And yeah, I read that today. I was like, what?
What's it at now? Do you know?
Last I heard it was about 15.
Okay.
But there's over 320 some apps to watch verticals. That cannot be sustainable. I just don't see how they can sustain that, in any way. But, I've got my favorites and I've got some that I don't care for. But I think you're going to probably wonder if there's going to be like 15 or 20 that are going to be top ones, and then they're going to do licensing, and after the first license, second license, or whatever. But I have 18 apps that I pay a yearly subscription to. That's $200 a year.
That's
That's
a
a
lot of
lot
money.
of money I invested,
Yeah.
in watching these.
And this does happen with a lot of new industries. You get the initial boom of different companies trying to have their piece, and make the money when it's booming, and then when the industry like really matures, you get the bottom ones start to fall off, and the really dominant top ones stay. And as you see with the horizontal streaming platforms, you originally had a bit of a different example, but you originally had only a couple. You had like Netflix, and then Disney came in and those sort of ones. And now you've got maybe 5 to 10 dominant streaming platforms, which will probably be the same with verticals in about 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's where it's going, in that situation, because I just don't know how it can be sustainable, to have so many. I mean, when I started getting all the names of all of them, my pages in my book were just like, what? I just kept finding more and more. But it's kind of crazy about the whole thing. But it's so funny. I'm so excited. This is like the biggest scoop ever that you're going, that you're moving to Vancouver. I mean, this is huge, because then I get to see you more. I
Yeah.
mean, I get to see you being in more movies and more. I almost posted the other day, we need to see more of Harrison Keene. Come on. So when you are doing these verticals and you're, what is your dream role in a vertical? What would you like to see yourself play in? I know.
I don't know. I don't. Sorry, I was just
I
zoning
know
out
that
thinking.
was just a question. Like, it just came to me. I was like, that's not a question I've ever asked anybody before.
Hey, original question.
Yeah. Mm.
um, I think you know I don't think I've kind of dreamed of myself big in a specific big type of vertical role. Maybe it's because I haven't known of the industry that long, whereas I've been watching like horizontal movies for 20 years. And over that time, I've obviously dreamed of myself in big horizontal movies. But for verticals, I don't think I've kind of had that, oh my gosh, this is my dream role in one of them. I would love to develop into a lead character, which is something I'm still working on,
You'll get
trying to
that. You'll
crack.
get that in Canada. You'll get that.
I hope
We're
so.
gonna we're gonna start pushing for Harrison to be a lead. You've
Well,
got it.
it would be nice.
You've got the ability. You've got the look. You've got the personality. Now, let me ask you this: do you ever get to use your Australian accent in
Just
because
one. Just one vertical I've used it, which was because it was set in Australia, which was Runaway Prince's Secret Vacation. And it was really weird. I kept dropping back into my American accent. It was good.
now tell us how you develop that accent because Liv Kirby, it's so funny when I'm talking to her and she's got this Australian accent and I'm like, I'm so used to seeing her with an American accent that it's just so hard for me to get used to that she's Australian.
Does she
Um,
speak with an Australian accent? Because I
yes, when you talk,
does she?
yeah,
I've never talked to her, but I've messaged her, and I'm pretty sure she told me that she grew up or has lived in America for quite a while now, and so I just
she comes.
assumed that she would have like naturally spoken in more of an American accent
No, because
now.
it's kind of funny because when she went home and she did a video from home, I was like, oh, that accent is right there,
Yeah,
and
that's what I've seen like online, like people that Australians that go to America. And I think I can remember like a Margaret Robbie clip of this. When they go back home, the Australian accent just comes out again, like after
yeah,
a day or two. Yeah.
yeah. So now, how did you learn your American accent? Did you just tons of practice, or
Essentially, yeah. I just kept chipping away at it, kept practicing it. There was a period where I got an accent coach to help me just kind of really solidify it because I had a base kind of accent before that. Watching so many American shows and movies, you kind of like imitate it
yeah?
often, or at least enough to be able to do it somewhat consistently. But then I really wanted to solidify it more, so I got an accent coach to help me, and he went through all the different sounds between the two accents, and we practiced a lot, and I just kept doing them. And these verticals have helped a lot, having just solidified it by just reinforcing it again and again and again.
Oh man, that's so cool because I know we have a British actor who does a lot of verticals in China, Matteo Casaro, and he has to do that American accent. So he's coming from the British accent to the American accent. And he got on the phone with me the other day, and I heard a little bit of the American accent, and I was like, "What is that?" I heard that British accent like yours. I just want to hear Harrison's Australian accent. And I wish they would let you guys use them. You know,
Yeah, but also I don't think Australian accents sound that good. I don't like them.
hey,
No, they sound so weird.
weed. That's so funny. Weed. They're so weird. It's funny because we in America think the Australian accent is so cool. The Australian and British accent. We're like, oh my gosh. And so as a little boy, you were growing up watching American movies, and what was your favorite? What did you love as a young boy? What did you?
What movies did I love?
Yeah.
Young boy. Oh gosh. All my like favorite like what's your favorite movie go-tos are like relatively recent now. So I don't actually remember what my favorites were growing up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
So
think. Like,
what's your most recent favorite ones?
the ones I typically say are Guardians of the Galaxy, all three of them, and Jurassic World and Top Gun Maverick.
Oh,
Um,
that was the best, wasn't it?
yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I've watched I've watched so many movies. Like I will scroll through Netflix or something and it would just be like scene, 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 trying to find one that I want to watch.
Oh
And
my goodness.
so like they all kind of blur, or a lot of them blur out into oblivion. Um, and so it's really only the memorable ones that I
Stand out.
remember now.
You
Yeah.
know what? It's the same with the verticals. I was watching so many of them because, the doctor sent me home after heart failure and said, go watch movies. So I just started watching them. And some of them I'm like, someone will say, will you watch my movie and see how I did? Tell me how it was. And I'll get through it. And I go, I've already either seen this, it's recycled or something, it sounds familiar, but I've got probably 15 or 20 that really stand out that I really, really liked. And I've got my favorite actors, my favorite actresses who I really like, and I'll watch what they've got. But now they're getting to the point where they'll go, "Oh, don't watch my new movie. It's really violent." I'm like, "Okay, thanks for the warning." It's pretty funny. But I am super excited for you. So if you were to get a horizontal, like a dream role, to be in a movie, what would it be?
Reframed the question. Good interviewing. uh, it would be cool to be some sort of Joker esque villain. The Joker's
Oh,
been played several times now, so I don't know how many how many remakes of the Joker they're gonna do, but something with a similar sort of villainous vibe.
you would be perfect, 100% perfect in that. Perfect. I mean, that would be a role that needs to be written just for you. Just
I
for
would
you.
love.
That'd be awesome.
It would be really
That would
cool.
be so awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, so in your verticals, in the verticals you've done and with the different teams and different platforms and everything, so you filmed only one in Australia. The rest huh,
I filmed multiple in Australia, but one was set in Australia, like the
oh,
actual
okay.
like the story.
Oh, okay. And then you've done how many in China?
I've done 4 in China and
And
one in
then you
Turkey.
did one in Turkey. Yeah. Yeah. And so just the different productions and the different levels of production from different companies going from Turkey was with Palm.
Hmm.
Um yeah. And then doing different ones in Turkey. I mean in China, they're all different production companies probably, not the same type of thing. So as you notice with verticals and as they're growing and as they're becoming, do you see the stories changing like we talked about getting better stories or do you see that's not there yet?
I think it will happen. I don't think it's there just yet. You are seeing the odd and typically indie verticals do like, branch off in terms of story, like the pirate one, like the one set in Africa, which is just different because of the characters and the niche. Um, the one like I don't know anything. If you look at any of them from Jen's vertical drama love indie awards, like, those are all unique in their own way. And so you see that little bit of branching off, but the main like 90-95% of them are still much the same. And yeah, it will happen. It just will take time, I think.
So one thing I have to talk about, speaking of vertical drama love,
Yeah.
you are a master at social media. You are a master, a master. When you were up for the award of Rising Star, you got my vote. I told you that right off. I was like, you have my vote. And the way you handled that, the way you said, don't forget voting's available. I thought that was brilliant. I thought so just the different stories you did, the fun about it. But congratulations. I mean, look how many new people came into the vertical in the last year and look to get the nomination, to get in the top, was it 5?
10.
10. Oh, there were 10 rising stars. You have my vote. I just think you are a rising star. And I think that we're going to see so much of you. I think we're going to I'm like fangirling a little bit on Harrison here, which I'm not like that. But I've always liked you. I've always enjoyed following you. You've always been so kind to me and so wonderful. And you make me smile. I mean, you just make me smile. You and Dan, your little jewel just cracks me. I mean, I laugh so hard. I'm like, they're so weird, but they're so cute. But and here's the thing: if you don't get the award for vertical drama love for Rising Star, you are a Rising Star, and don't let anybody dim that light because you really are. And I think moving to Canada is a incredible move, just an incredible move.
Yeah, I think it'll be very beneficial. And all the Instagram posting. So I started, it would have been December last year, end of December. I started, or end of December? Maybe it was before that. It might have been October, November. I just said to myself, because I knew that social media presence and follower count was a factor that affected how castable you might be, whether you like it or not. It is what it is.
It is.
And so I said to myself, I need to be more active on social media. So it was October or November last year, and I said, I'm going to post every day, no matter what. And I started posting every day, no matter what. And then December rolled around, and it was after Christmas, and for some reason, I was talking to friends, and for some reason, I then said, I'm going to start posting twice every day, no matter what. And since the end of December, I've been posting twice every day, no matter what. I haven't missed a day. And yeah, it's chaotic, and it's a lot sometimes. And
It
it
is.
helps when you have a lot of footage in your iPhone camera roll to rely on. And currently I don't, which is stressful sometimes.
Oh yeah, I bet. So your numbers, what your numbers when you started in October, November, do you remember what they were? I mean, do you remember where you were in the number count?
Yes. So I think it was November. I'm pretty sure it was November when I started posting once a day. I think my follower account was around 900,
Oh my gosh.
and then now it's nearly 1900. So
1896.
yeah, so it's oh gosh, it's like 1,000 new followers in the 3, 4, 5 months.
That's
Not bad,
incredible.
not
That's
bad.
good. That's really good. And I'm going to be honest with you. Being in casting, being in kind of an insider in the industry, I hear it. People say, "Oh, I'm going to have a much better chance if I get 10,000 followers." Some companies won't even look at you if you don't have 10,000 followers. And I believe there's some truth to that in a lot of instances, but when a casting company or casting director goes, they're going to go to Instagram. They're going to go check your thing. And that's why I started that mom's advice to actors. I was on set and then I was seeing some behaviors that these boys and girls both needed a little bit of mom advice. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. And it's helped a lot of people. But I think, um, I've gotten a lot of thank yous for it. I've gotten a lot of hate mail for it too. Not from
Really?
actors. Yeah, not from actors, but from fans that say she shouldn't be doing that. That's just stupid. But you know what? It's something that I enjoy. And when I'm on set, they call me mom. It's just been fun. But it's really helped me. I mean, I started out August 13th was my very first post. Of
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. Look
yeah.
at you go, Cindy.
I know it's really fun, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The who's filming has really helped me. Who's filming. If I was casting, doing different things like that, and doing the new comics has been really fun. But your content is just amazing. I mean, when you post your content, I just look at you and I go, you're so brilliant. You're just so funny.
Uh,
You know.
I I don't know. I just ramble, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Now, do you do reels or do you do I mean, do you do a mixture?
I do a mix, yeah.
Yeah, because someone keeps saying you don't do enough reels, Cindy. You have to do more reels. And I don't know how the algorithm works. I don't know anything.
I
I
think
don't,
reels have got a better chance of spreading to non-followers.
yeah,
They've got
yeah,
like a better chance of getting up into those thousands of views.
yeah.
Um, like being more of an outlier in terms of view count.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to post. I'm gonna have to repost some of your stuff. You're gonna have to tag me on some fun things. It, I don't know. It's kind of funny. There's a handful of actors that I kind of follow and enjoy hanging out with when I go to California and we hang out together and stuff. And it's just been fun. But you're one of those that I just want to see really, really grow because I think you have the potential. I think you've really got the star power. You know, and I've shared that with you, and I've said, I think that you could be a lead, and I don't know why you're not a lead.
Thank you,
You know,
Cindy. I appreciate that. It's very kind.
no, really, it's honest. Now, so when you started acting, do you take classes? Do you do this? And then another question I have, don't let me forget about
Okay.
lines.
Okay.
But let's,
I will answer your question, but I want to tell you a quick funny story about one of your posts. You did a post about, it was one of those ones where it's like who's on set, who's filming, and you tagged me in it, and and like the day before or something, I had posted, or the same day, I had posted old BTS photos or old BTS photos of myself in China, and then you posted yours. It's like Harrison and Tess are filming in China, and I was like, "Lol, I'm in Sydney."
yeah, yeah. And it
I
was
thought it
like,
was hilarious
that's old, old,
because I
that's
put the
old.
location on the post as well from the city that we were shooting in, but it was like
Yeah,
months ago.
that was with Tess Clark, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because Tess goes, that's old BTS. I'm like, well, you guys are supposed to tell me. And Tess goes, we laughed. She goes, I laughed so hard. And I'm like, okay, so I didn't get that one right. I didn't get that one right.
That's hilarious.
I bet you were like, am I back in China filming? No. Yeah, exactly. So now did you take acting classes or are you just doing this all on your own?
I have taken a multitude of acting classes over the past few years. I've gone to a couple places and many different teachers
Yeah.
and just like trying to find a place that I really like and fits me well. And I thought I found a place. Well, the last place I was at, I was enjoying it, but then it shut down, and I was like, "Oh, that's sad." It's relocating, so it will be back up soon. But At the moment, I'm not taking any acting classes just because I haven't gotten around to joining a new place since the last place shut down. But I definitely find it helpful to take classes. Just, more practice, more consistency, acting, keeping different sort of acting muscles alive,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But
Now,
line learning,
yeah,
that
that's what I
verticals have really helped me with line learning, like significantly more than acting classes have. I had been always generally pretty good at line learning. I did like public speaking in like primary school, and so that required a lot of line learning, and I just it was a trait that I was decently good at. But verticals for sure, because of the very quick turnaround, have made my line learning skills a lot better.
That's interesting too, because the first time I went on a vertical set, and they go, well, we're going to go through 18 pages today, and I'm looking at the sides, and they're doing an episode, and then they move in, okay, we're moving on to the next one, we're moving on to the next one, and I'm just like, how? I mean, this is just nuts. How do you learn them? I mean, do you look the night before at what the sides are going to be? Because a lot of times you don't get the call sheet until that day has
Oh my
ended, you
gosh,
know?
I hate this. And this happens this happens like more often than not in like China. Especially if you're like not on set either, and so you can go to bed at a reasonable time, and then you go to bed and you want to go to bed at like 9, 10 p.m. because you have to wake up at 6, 7 a.m. the next day, but they haven't finished shooting on set, and so they haven't sent you the call sheet, so you don't know what you're doing for the next day, and you're like, please. Or you don't know the time you have to wake up. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Exactly. So here's a great example. I'm not going to name companies or anything, but I see it all the time because I go on the set, they send me the call sheet, and and in California, you're going to probably find this in Vancouver. Um, we might be in Alhambra one day, which is an hour from where I'm staying, and we might be in Anaheim another day, which is another hour in the opposite direction. Or we might be back up at Alhambra, 3 days later. We might be up in Peru or somewhere. So you never know. And so and LA traffic's horrendous, kind of like Sydney, in a way. And so the thing is you get off set, you get off at 9 o'clock, and to head home, and you don't know what time you have to be back on set the next day, but you don't get your call sheet for another hour or two sometimes. Sometimes before you leave set, they'll say, okay, call sheet's been sent. Rare for it to be sent anytime earlier than when it's done, because for people to understand, they have to figure out what episodes they're going to do the next day. They've kind of got it mapped out, but if they missed one or
Yeah.
didn't get it in, they have to do it. And so do you get your sides that night and have to study, or how do you go about studying?
No, well, thankfully, um, thankfully, I always ask for like the schedule before the shoot starts, so I know the structure that they're going to go with, which is like we're going to do this, this, and this on day one, this, and this on day two, etc. So then I can like map it out, and assuming they stick to the schedule, which sometimes they change, I have a general idea of what's going on my next shoot day, and so I can prepare like with the limited amount of time you still have. At least it's a little more time. But yeah, I've when it's for the leads, it must be a lot more difficult. Having all the lines, and if scripts are changing or if schedules are changing, and finding out the night before and having to like read that night or read in the morning before they go on set and shoot, that's where I imagine it must be a lot more difficult.
Yeah, and they don't do them in sequence. Like you might do episode 17 and 42 and 49 this day, and then the next day you're going to do 1 and 9 and 28 and 62. So it's not done in sequence, and most people don't realize that. It's a lot of times done on location of where you're at, Okay, we're going to do the hospital scenes on this set, and that's these. But I've been reading lines every morning for the last few mornings with one of the young actors I manage as he's driving to work, to go to set because he's got an hour and a half drive. And he's getting home and then he's
It's a
having
long
to learn.
drive.
Yeah. And so I've been doing lines with him the last 3 mornings, and it's fun. And I go, wow, is this part of the manager's job, to do this? And I offered, and I'm having a blast with it. I'm enjoying it, but it's kind of fun. And I think being on set and kind of being an insider in the industry, as long as I don't get the BTS wrong, thinking it's from, a current movie, that you guys are making instead of one that was done 6 months before.
Yeah.
Funny. That was so funny. But I think the fun thing is because I tend to understand it a little bit more and see how hard you guys work, that I'm I'm a, I'm really partial to a lot of you and how much work you guys put into this. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I think it's a great way for you to learn, how I think that vertical actors are sometimes 10 times better than horizontal actors because you've got so much to learn. You've got so much going on. I mean, 60 episodes in 7 days, sometimes less, and I know in a lot of the movies I've been in or been on, the supporting actors have had even more lines than some of the leads, because and especially the villains, the villains tend to get a lot of lines in a lot of cases. But
Sometimes.
so do you like playing the villain?
Yeah, I do like playing the villain. But I also want to mix it up.
Exactly. You don't want to get typecast. We don't want Harrison the villain
I
all
think
the
we're
time.
already there.
Oh
But you
no.
see, Canada, that's a new opportunity because they don't know me over there. So it gives
Yeah.
it's like a fresh start.
Yeah, and what's happening is because a lot of these platforms like Real Short and Drama Pops and everything, they're going to Canada to film because they get the incentives. And so it's going to be nice because you're going to have a lot of these companies that are bigger companies, bigger platforms are filming up there. And I think I don't even know, Salty, Alta TV, a lot of them are doing up there. And so yeah, you can become the new, the new romantic lead up there or something. That'd be fun. Yes. We're gonna root for that. We're gonna get you. I'm determined to get Harrison a lead.
Squirrel Army, let's go.
Yeah, let's get you. Let's get you. Our rising star needs to be a lead. You know.
And
So
it's also great for horizontal productions
yeah,
because I hear they shoot a lot in
they
Vancouver.
do. There's a ton. There's a creator list that they have up there, what's filming in Vancouver, and it's pages at a time. And when I'm up in Vancouver, I'll be walking or I'll be driving, and there'll be film crews everywhere, in houses, in parks. They'll have streets closed off, in all these locations. But a number of Hallmark movies are filmed up there, and so that'll give you a really good chance. And also, Wind Calls the Heart, which is in its like 13th or 14th season. It's a period um,
Okay.
Western type show where she's a school teacher, and that might be something that you look into. They're always
Oh.
looking. Yeah, I'll be in touch with you because with you up there now, it's going to be really awesome. So, is it a long-term visa? You can stay as long as you want.
It's 2 years from date of entry. And
That's
then if you're under 35 and Australian, you can get up to 3 of them. So
really
you could get 6 years worth of working holiday visa is what it's called. And during those working holiday visa years, if you wanted to, you can take the steps to apply for permanent residency.
during that 6 years.
Yeah, well, I think it's
You have to
the
be
main
there six.
requirements are like a year's worth of work on payroll. So
Oh,
which doesn't happen for verticals, but if I was to go down the path of
A
getting
series.
set up and prepared for permanent residency, you find the jobs or whatever you need to do to get that
Yeah.
sorted.
Well, I'm super excited because now I'll finally maybe get to meet you when I come up to Vancouver.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You reach out if you do.
Yeah, we've got to do a crowdfunding to get Harrison from Australia to Canada. We're gonna do it.
No,
Wouldn't it-
I don't like taking people's money.
I know, I know, I'm joking. We're gonna find you ways to make money. We're gonna find you
Yes,
ways to make money to
yes.
do. Yeah, we're gonna see.
Recurring revenue business.
Yeah,
Let's create
there's
that.
got to be something because I'm closing down my retail store, but I'm keeping my online business so that I can still have money, coming
Oh,
in.
that's good.
And so
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the online store, and then someone can run it while I'm gone.
Do
Like when I'm
you
in California.
do you craft the stuff yourself? I think you said it was a needle
Supplies,
store.
the supplies. So
Supply.
like type of stuff like this. These are bags I sell,
Oh,
that
neat.
are already made. So I've been giving them to crews when I go out on cruise, to like the camera guys and people that I meet on
Do you have
sets.
your branding on it?
No, I
You got to
should.
put your branding on it so people
I got to
know.
put the Vertical Actors Network badge on them. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But yeah, we're gonna find you. We're reoccurring. People are gonna see this video, and you're gonna have all kinds of people messaging you, going, "Oh, I've got an idea for you for a job. For a recurring." Uh, that's
Got a
pretty.
great Ponzi scheme for you to join. We got a
Yes.
great pyramid scheme for you, Harrison.
Hey, Utah's the
Trust
king
me,
of
it's legal.
yeah. Utah's
Yeah.
like the market for it. But yeah, well, this is so fun. So tell me, moving to Canada, super excited. Now you've got all your family right there in the Sydney area. Um, Mom and dad, you have siblings?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple sisters.
Are you a middle child?
I'm a middle child.
I'm a middle child. I'm a middle child. I have two brothers. And you,
Oh,
middle
it's like
child
the
with
opposite. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I'm definitely a middle child. Marsha. You're too young to even know what that is. But from the Brady Bunch. But anyway,
Let's watch the Brady Bunch.
so
Oh,
Marsha,
Marsha's the Marsha's one of the kids, right? One of the
yeah,
girls.
you just go
Yeah.
Marsha. Middle child.
I love the Brady Bunch. It was such a good show.
Was that great? So
Yeah.
it's funny. We watched Australian movies. I mean, Australian shows. The daughters. I can't think of the name of it now. It was an Australian show about some sisters. On a farm, and then I always have to watch Farmer Wants a Wife.
Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yeah, that's such a big Australian hit reality show.
Yeah.
Like Cindy, you're so weird, but
Do you watch Survivor?
no.
No. Okay.
Are you going to go on Survivor?
Yeah, I'll be on Survivor one day. Probably
Yeah.
Australian Survivor over American, but yeah, I want to.
Yeah. Would you do something like Dancing with the Stars?
Be a star first, Cindy.
You
Have to
are.
become
You
more
are a star.
known.
You're a rising star.
I'm a rising star.
Yeah. This is so fun. I don't even want this to end because I'm having so much fun with you. But
we can keep going.
yeah, we can have little snippets and cut them out.
Yeah,
But
you're gonna get so many clips for Instagram from this.
I know.
You won't have to worry about content for a whole week.
You know what?
Neither will I.
I know why Harrison wanted me to interview him. He wants content. I know. But it's so funny because I think about that. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, content. What am I going to put up? What am I going to put up? And then I come up with new stuff, trying to figure out what I'm going to put up. And I'll hear something, about that's what I'm talking about now, learning lines. So tell me, when you get a script and you know what's going to do day to day, on your 7-day schedule, do you study your lines the night before, or do you go way ahead, like before the shoot happens and start reading the whole script, highlighting everything, print off your sides or whatever. You don't get your sides sometimes until the night before. But do you? So when you go to study your lines, how do you do it? Do you like read to yourself? Do you tape them and then read them? I mean, listen to them back.
I'll go through the script, and I like printed scripts because I can go and highlight and scribble on it and stuff. I'll go through the script and I'll highlight my lines, and when I get the schedule, I'll mark the scenes by days so I know what's when. And then, depending on how many days out we are, I'll just be reading through all the different lines for the whole script, and sometimes making choices for the different scenes and what I think my character's at this stage of the story, because we don't shoot it in consecutive order. And then when it's like the night or the day before a shoot day, I'll solely focus on the next day's content and reinforce that a lot more. And yeah, just go from there. And sometimes be nervous when I'm going and rocking up on set, being like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready for today. But then the lines always seem to come out and be there when you need them. So
when you study them, do you have a reader that helps you, or do you?
No, I kind of just go through and rehearse them in my head. And like sometimes, especially in the past, with that sort of strategy, you'll get like stuck doing lines the same way over and over again, which is a bad thing, because you don't want to be kind of stuck in a way of saying a line or doing an action. So I try to mix it up sometimes with different intentions, or how I can say a line differently, or how I can try and be creative and get something different out of a scene. What I really like to do is I really like to make creative choices in advance. So when I'm like studying the scene that I'm going to do, I'll be thinking like, I'll be listening to whatever creative instincts pop up, and I'll be like, oh, you know what might be interesting in this moment if I did this, and I'll write down. Or if a thought pops up and I'm like, this would be really funny, I'll write it down. I'll consider whether it's appropriate, because sometimes it's not appropriate and I'm just thinking of really like silly stuff. And yeah, I'll just like listen to my creative instincts and go from there. Honestly,
Now,
sometimes it feels like I'm just winging it, but
oh my gosh! Now, do you do a lot of ad libbing, and the scripty doesn't get mad at you, or they do? They're like, no, Harrison, that's not in the script.
I have done a fair share of ad-libbing, but I don't go and change the meaning of anything unless it's like discussed with the director and, makes sense for the story. So if it is, there's kind of two types. There's slightly altering the line that you have and keeping the same meaning. I guess you could call that ad-libbing. And then there's the adding extra stuff kind of ad-libbing. Sometimes, on occasion, I'll add something extra, or something that I think works or fits or is entertaining, or, just makes the scene better. If it comes to me, if it's like one of those like creative thoughts that pops up. But, if it's not, then so be it.
Now, are the platforms or the client, depending on if it's a platform or a client, I know, are they sometimes pretty strict and go, no, 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 you can't do that? Or
Not in the ones that I've done. They tend to be all right with it. Like I don't change things massively, so it's not really a big problem like that.
Yeah.
But if I have changed something or added something, half the time, depending on the production team, I don't even think they notice. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Because I've been on set and the scriptie will go, no, 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 that's not, it needs to be said this way. And I'm like,
Really?
it was just
Oh,
like that. I mean, it was just, you know, he, I don't know. It was just kind of, it just seemed like they said that's what the client wants. I mean, and so if you've got a
my.
client,
Sorry, I interrupted you. Keep
no,
going.
go ahead.
No, my bad.
No, I was just saying, if you've got the client and sometimes the clients are remote, they might be in China, they might be somewhere else, and they're listening to this remote. Nope. You got to change that. You got to put that back. He's got to say it differently. And I'm like, but it didn't really change the meaning of it. I mean, it was done perfectly, but then they have to go back and do it again to get that exact wording. And I'm thinking, how often does that happen? So I'm glad you answered that way.
Yeah, that's one of my most hated lines on set is no, but that's what the client wants. Because half the time the client isn't creative.
Yeah.
And so the creative teams, like the director or the actors, will do something, will like say a line or do an action, and from a creative point, it looks good and it works. But then you get a client interference where they're like, sorry, the client wants this, which, understandable from a business perspective. They know the specifics of a story and how it creates, how it engages an audience. And so if you need something like that, they're like, yes, we need this for the story. But when it annoys me is when when it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense logically, it doesn't make sense emotionally, and it doesn't actually fit culturally either. This happens sometimes when you mix Eastern production teams, like the ones I work with in China, with a Western production or a Western audience. And it's like, this would work if it was for a Chinese audience, because like sometimes they even show us the Chinese version of the vertical we're shooting, and they're like, look how he did this, and you're like, yes, but that doesn't translate over to the Western audience you're making this for, and it wouldn't work the same way. So that's
Yeah.
when it annoys me.
Yeah. The
It just
translation.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because you seem to me like you're so creative in so many ways. I've seen some of your stuff that you've done, and I was always wondering that. Do you ad lib? Do you change things up because you've just got that type of personality? After me being on so many sets, I do understand when the client says, "No, we don't want it that way," and I'm like, "It was perfect," but it was better. And you hear it a lot, let it go, but they don't. Now, when you're on a set and you've got a lot of downtime, because people don't understand 12-hour days, you may be in a scene at 9 o'clock in the morning, you've come in an hour ahead to get makeup and fitting, and then you'll do a quick scene 17, you're done in 10 minutes, you may not go until 5 or 6 that afternoon.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've been there. I've done that. What do you do? What do you do when you're on set and you've got a long break?
I don't remember. I feel like the one that comes to mind is I had a day on a turkey set on the summer I turned bad, and I shot early afternoon, like 1-2 p.m. or something, which was towards the start of the day. And then my next scene wasn't until like 11-12 p.m. And so, yeah, it was a night scene. So we're waiting for it to get dark. But that day, I remember I just was going around talking to all the different people on the crew, and then wandering around the suburb that we were in, just going on a walk. I found this abandoned house, and it had like this underground section. It was like collapsed, and it had this underground section. And so I walked down these stairs, and it was really like zombies would be living in this if it was a zombie movie type deal. And it just
Hey,
had these big, yeah, it just had these big pits in it, like an indoor swimming pool or something, or these big circular holes that went down a few meters. It's like, if you got stuck there, you'd be in some serious strife. It was creepy. I got out of there pretty quickly, but
what in the
I was just
world
filling
made
time. Just filling time.
but what in the world made you decide I want to go look at this?
It's interesting.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. But you know,
Cool.
yeah,
It's
my
scary.
son,
It's cool.
I have a son that's 24, and his thing is we went to Japan, and he wanted to go to these abandoned schools. They just close these schools, and they leave all the books and they leave all the furniture. And he's like, I want to go do this. I'm going to go in these. And I'm like, why? Because it's cool, Mom. It's fun. And I'm like, okay. So
It's almost
my
like
son would have been right there with you. Yeah, my son was
great.
oh
I was
my
wishing I had a travel companion so I could like laugh at them for being scared.
God.
But no, it was just me by myself being kind of scared.
Yeah. So you've enjoyed the travel, going to China, going to Turkey.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I've had... Oh, no, I've definitely had a lot of downtime on sets. I don't know what I do. Not productive stuff.
I know. Yeah, I see some of the actors bring their computers and they do work, but I've even seen people go up into, like, if we're in a house and and they have to do an audition, they'll go up and grab their phone and tripod and do an audition right in the house, to get them out. And I'm thinking,
Dedicated.
I don't think fans realize how much downtime there is.
It's the worst part of being on set.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah.
there and you want to shoot,
Yeah, you want to shoot. And, I saw one girl that had a book and she was reading a book. But of all the sets I've been on, it was only one person that I saw with a book. I was like, well, that's a good idea. I'd bring my cross stitching and stitch, or something. I don't know. But you get distracted. But yeah, it's
yeah. Like, I always, like, I often can't do work or other things because I'm like, oh no, what if I'm missing out on something? So I end up just talking to people.
that's how I am. That's how I am. I'd go talk to the key grip or the gaffer or, different people that are waiting, and you get to talk to them and get to meet them and everything. One kid who was a key grip, he's like a director also. He's a cinematographer, and he goes, hey, I haven't seen my movie. Will you look it up for me? Can we look at it? So, I'm like, yeah, I have the platform. Let's go look at it. And so it was kind of fun to watch him watch his part of his movie, and it was kind of fun to enjoy that with him. But I've made some good friends on sets, that when I come to town, they want to meet me, hang out and do stuff. But the vertical world is such a unique world. I mean, I've been in the cross stitch world for so many years, and I've been in the country music industry prior to that. But I've met so many amazing, amazing people in the vertical industry. They care for each other. A lot of them hang out together. That's something that you're going to find up in Canada. But I'm not going to let you hang out with Marcus Kelly Curtis, because I'm going to tell you that guy is nuts. Just kidding. He is, I look at your
I was like, Cindy, you just throwing someone under the bus here.
He knows he's crazy. It's so fun. You guys would get along so well, because when I wake up and I want to just get a smile on my face, I look at your Instagram or I look at Marcus's, because I know that I'm going to be guaranteed a smile on both of them, and you guys together would be fun. So, you want to get those abs. He works out all the time. So I just
send me his profile. I don't think
I definitely will. Oh, he is so funny, but he plays a villain a lot too. But he is so funny. He's entertaining. And so have you found, you don't know where you're going to live or anything there, right? You haven't looked into all of that?
No, I haven't done extensive research into it. I was talking to a friend from Canada, from Vancouver, Natasha, Rima,
Yeah, I mean, Natasha,
from
remember she's
yeah.
filming right now with John Robert Palmer Watkins. Rob Watkins. She's filming with Rob right now.
Okay.
I know, I know. It's
No,
just
I
little
don't
trivia.
know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
shot with her in Melbourne last year, and she's like the only person I know who lives in Vancouver, and I was like, please help me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they'll help you. And I'll get you hooked up with Marcus.
Oh,
And there's
awesome.
Marcus right there. He's gonna laugh when I
Oh
tell
yeah.
him this. And so
Okay.
yeah, so you've got him beat on the followers, so I'm just teasing. I'm gonna tease him. But he is so funny. You guys would get along so well. Because you both have that sense of humor. And so now what's gonna happen with the Dan? What's gonna happen with Jules when you move?
I don't know. We're gonna get season 1 done before we move. Before I move, and then depending on how it goes, we might try market it to a platform or a production team, and maybe try get it either remade or season 2 made professionally and paid, and I don't know, whatever we can kind of cook up.
I think it's funny, and you two are you're so cute in it. I mean, you're just adorable in it. But you could do this with Marcus in Canada. You could do a
I'm
little
gonna
story
need
with
new people to to act with, making our
you.
own
You,
content.
you guys would be amazing together. He posts a lot. He posts a lot, and he's hilariously funny. Like I got a thing with him too. He's like, oh, I said, can you tell me where you're filming? I don't know. I signed an NDA, and I go, okay, just tell me. I have to be really careful. Some platforms don't want you to. And so today I got the go ahead on one of the actors because I saw he was flying somewhere, and I'm like, can I post this? He's like, well, I had to sign an NDA. I don't know if you can. And then later he goes, okay, you can post now. So it's kind of funny. But that whole who's filming thing just turned out to be just huge for me. Like I'm getting 1.4, 1.5 million views a month. You
That's
know?
awesome.
Yeah. And I know it's because of the who's filming. I mean, you guys like to see your name, even if it was 6 months prior. I can't believe I did that. I can't believe
Harrison
you.
Kane and Dan Jungma filming The Jewel.
Yeah, exactly. You need to tell me when you're doing it. Now,
Yeah.
you release how often you release an episode,
It's about once a week ish at this stage.
but it's not a certain time.
No.
It's when it's ready.
We're not that consistent yet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so
But
funny.
we try get the way we try to leave English. We try not to leave it more than a week between uploads.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I want to hear you do your American accent. So just like you to do a little bit of American, just like do a little story.
Little story. Uh, it's, I, okay, I haven't warmed it up, so it might be a little touchy, but what do you want me to talk about, Cindy?
Okay, I would like you to talk about a little boy and his dog
A
and
little
how they
boy and his dog. Okay,
and how they
well,
became best friends.
aww. So, one day, this little boy was walking through the park, and he was just walking, and he was flying a kite, and it was a beautiful sunny day. There was blue skies, and birds were flying and chirping about, and then out of nowhere, he hears this bark, and he's like, what was that? Like, there's no one around. And then out of the bushes, there's a little grumble, and he's like, oh no, is there something dangerous in the bushes? And then out pops a little dog that's only about this big. It's the tiniest little thing you've ever seen, but it's so cute. And the boy, initially scared, he goes and he's like, "Aw, I'm gonna call you Robert."
Awesome. That's so awesome. Oh my gosh, we have content now. That so cool. Now, do you do any other accents? Just American and Australian?
Can do other accents. Some of them are a bit shaky. One I really like to do is more of a Southern American accent. It's very fun to just go down into the South and kind of like just flow with it, you know? It actually comes a lot easier to Australians to do. See, it's a bit shaky, but it comes a lot easier to Australians to do a Southern American accent over a standard American accent. I don't know why. It's just easier for us.
I love that. That was perfect. That was just perfect. Oh my
It's
god.
it's
A
wild.
little
I
bit of
did it.
Matthew McConaughey in there.
I have no idea what it was. I was just flowing. But I did I used to do a theater show where I played four Southern musicians. Played Elvis, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, and Jerry Lee Lewis. And so I had to do like four different Southern voices when I was switching between the characters in the one show. And
Oh,
that was tough. But it helped my accent for sure.
well, no kidding, because you've got four very different voices. I mean, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash had kind of a thing. Yeah, wow. Now, was this a musical type thing?
It was it was a play with music. So there was actors and then there was a band, and the actors would do a play, and every so often the band would come in and sing a song related to kind of the character that was being talked about at that moment, essentially. And it was all music from Sun Records, the record label. Yeah, so it was a bunch of those artists, a bunch of those songs, and our band had a really good singer who became a good mate of mine. Yeah, it was a really fun show. I did it for about a year ish.
Wow. Now, do you play any musical instruments or sing?
No, I am not very good at that because I haven't put in the time to develop those skills yet.
Yet. See, that's
Yet,
something you could do.
important.
You could take like a mandolin or a guitar with you on set and
Mentally.
practice.
What a great first instrument to learn, a mandolin.
Probably one of the toughest, right? Probably one of the okay, a banjo. Okay, I don't know, but you could take that on set and practice.
Just your everyday mandolin.
The mandolin because that's my favorite instrument. So I expect you to learn the mandolin and play a song for me. I love the mandolin.
I don't even know what the mandolin looks like.
But you don't because it's a southern musical
Is it
instrument.
like a
But it's
little like guitar looking thing?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was on set with Jordan Frank for 9 days, and towards the end of this shoot, he heard I love the mandolin, so he brought up his mandolin and played me songs. It was so cute. It was just so cute. He sang me songs, and we were laughing because I'm like, "How do you know I love the mandolin?" Because I heard you saying it one day. But that's how fun the vertical industry is. He heard that I like the mandolin, so he brought the mandolin, to play it. But see, that's
Awesome.
something you could take up. You could take up the mandolin.
Wait, we'll do an interview in a year's time, and I'll come on here strumming the mandolin.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a mandolin up in Vancouver. I'll bring you mine. That'd be so funny. I am so tickled you're going to Vancouver. I can't wait to do this little snippet. When we
Yeah.
announce it. So and this is going to happen soon, like real soon.
I intend on moving this year, hopefully before or during our winter, which is your summer.
That'll be good.
That's the general plan. No set
Yeah,
dates yet, though.
that's awesome. That's just so incredible. So give me something that no one knows about Harrison Keene that
Harrison's moving to Vancouver. Sorry, go ahead.
that would be interesting for people to know about you? I know you've got a ton of fans. I know you've also got a fan page. Someone does a fan page for you. So what is it? What is something about Harrison other than your adorable dimples and your beautiful eyes that everybody loves, that I love? What is it? What is it that is something really cool about Harrison Keene that nobody really knows about you?
In There's a place that my family goes uh for like summer each year, and not far from there there's this shark and ray center. And so it's these tubs that are like varying in size. And so there's like big ones with like a meter and a half ish of water. And then there are small ones with like a foot of water. And in them are a bunch of sharks and rays, like manta rays and whatnot. And so when I was younger, we went to this place. And what you can do is you can like put your hand in and feed them, which is fun. But you can also get into the tanks with the sharks and the manta rays. And when I was younger and significantly smaller than what I am now, I got into the biggest one, which had these like meter and a half, 2 meter big sharks and these massive like manta rays, which are like a meter wide at least. And you're in there, and it is so freaky when you're like the size of a child because they're so much bigger in perspective compared to like how we are now. And so I was just in there, like slightly swimming, slightly just frozen in fear with these manta rays and massive
So
sharks.
is your head sticking out of the water, but your body's in the water, or was it
Yeah,
just your feet? I mean, was it like up
yeah,
to
yeah.
your?
Like up to your chest sort of area.
Oh my gosh! And how long were you in there? I would have been dying. I'm dying. I'm gonna get bit by a shark. I mean, that's would have been my whole thought.
Yeah, well, like obviously, like they're not, they're harmless because the rays don't have stinger barbs, and the sharks are usually like bottom feeder sharks that won't bite you. But it's still creepy to be like right up next to them with them touching you as they swim by in this tank with them. And
Yeah.
like similar thing, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but we used to own sheep once.
Oh, my favorite
Very
animal.
random. It was very, very random. I don't even remember how we got them. I think we bought them at like the Easter show or something for some reason. And we only had them for like 8 months, 6 to 8 months. But we used to own sheep once. And this was a while ago, so I was smaller than what I am now. But even going up in there with these fully grown sheep coming towards you because you've got some hay is kind of scary. You're like, oh no, I hope they don't like ram into me.
You know what? You know what? I don't know if you can see it. I have a scar right on my head, right here. When I was a little girl, we had sheep, and a male sheep chased me, and I climbed under the fence, and a nail got my whole head. I ended up in emergency. Yeah, but I still love sheep. I collect sheep everywhere. Everywhere I travel, if there's a sheep, I buy a little sheep of some sort. Yeah, I collect sheep. It's like my biggest.
Little animals as well
Oh, what do
from
you
places
collect?
like here's a little horse from
Oh,
Mykonos, Greece.
yeah.
I love this one. I've got a big collection here. Here is a Here's a couple of little glass elephants from Venice
Oh my
in
gosh.
Italy. Oh wait, No, sorry, these are from um, Ljubljana. I think that's how you say it, in Slovenia. The elephants.
Wow.
The little ladybug here is
Oh my
from
god.
Venice. This one's tiny. It's so cute.
Is that like made out of like Murano type glass or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one is. Yeah. Um, I've got a few more. It all started when I went to Thailand a few years ago, and I got this little like turtle, which is like the least like quality looking one of the lot. But it's where we began. I got this little boy as well. I don't remember. I think I got this in Turkey when I went to shoot The Summer I Turned Bad. I think I got
So
this
when
in Chile. Chile. Is that the Yeah, I think that's how you say the name of the town up on the Black Sea where we were shooting for half the shoot.
you travel, you just try to pick up a little animal somewhere that reminds you of.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like an animal significant to the location. But I just try find one that's like small and cute and looks like good quality.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't like the touristy shop sort of ones. Like
yeah.
it
I
has to be
totally
like
agree.
something like, you know, niche-ish.
Yeah, those are really credible. Yeah, like I'll be in a store like somewhere in like Argentina and they'll have like a whole sheep shop and I'm like, nah, that's just too touristy. So I'll go find a little teeny sheep. I travel with a little sheep guy that travels all over the world with me and he shows up in pictures.
Oh,
It's
that's
just,
cool.
I know
Do
it's
you
just
have
weird.
one nearby?
No, that's what I was looking for. I have a, I'll have to do a post with one of them. I don't have one near me, which is so funny because I usually do. But I also collect these nuns behind me. They're nuns. They're figurines from Spain.
Oh.
And I collect them and I have like 25 of them, but I can only put like 5 out because I just don't have room. So that's what I'm trying to consolidate the business and I'm like, I need to get rid of some stuff, something. I've collected so much stuff. I've been married 43 years. You collect a
Wow.
lot of stuff.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. So you're going to Vancouver, not taking anything with you other than a couple of suitcases and just basically starting over.
Yep.
You know what? You're young. What a thing, My son, who's 24, he travels a lot, Japan and Germany and stuff. And he would do the same thing. He would say, I won't be surprised when he graduates from college in May with his aviation maintenance degree. I will not be surprised when he said, Mom, I'm gonna move to, I don't know, Lithuania. I don't know. I just think that he'll do it, somewhere.
It's
So
like an adventurer's spirit almost.
yeah, I was a wanderluster. I grew up in Spain. My high school years were in Spain, and so
Dude,
I, yeah, I took off after high school and traveled to Europe. And my parents are like, "Do it." I couldn't do it now, as an 18-year-old, but I did it for 3 months. You know,
So are you Spanish or are you American?
my dad was. I'm American, raised in Utah. My dad did 5 tours in Vietnam, and when he came home from Vietnam, we got orders to Spain. So I spent
Oh,
2 years in Zaragoza, Spain, 2 years in Madrid, Spain. And then I was offered a scholarship for nursing school, and I ended up going to Mississippi, where I had really never heard Southern accents. So I was like, I don't understand them at all. Could you repeat that? Kind of like the Glasgonians or, in Glasgow. I can't understand them at all. That's like a whole nother language.
yeah.
You
That's
know?
crazy. Up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, ooh. But sometimes in the South, there were people that I really could not understand. It was like a whole nother language. Just I know you guys have different accents down in Australia. You
Uh Not really. We've got
really.
like no, not like America does. There's just not like that many people. You get like you can there's like a more rurally country accent. And then there's more like a standard sort of Australian city metro accent.
That's pretty cool. So
Yeah, you
so
get like
when
the real like g'day. G'day, love.
Oh yeah,
the
Steve
real, the
Irwin,
real country bogan.
Crocodile Dundee. Yeah, that's what we remember. Crocodile Dundee and Steve Irwin. That's our Australia.
Yeah.
So, so when you're not filming verticals, what do you do? What do you do for hobbies? What are you doing now? Are you
What do I do? I play soccer.
which
I'm
you guys
torn up.
call something else? You
Sorry.
guys do you guys call it something else?
Uh, some people call it soccer, some people call it football here.
But it's not
Um,
footy. I know footy's really big down
no,
there.
footy is either rugby or AFL, depending on where you're from. Um, so there can be like footy, which can be rugby league or AFL, and then there's like football, which can also be AFL or soccer. Lots of names.
Yeah.
But I'm torn up at the moment whether to play soccer this year because of the Vancouver move. I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to move, so I might only be able to play half a season.
You play
So
like on a local
I
team?
yeah,
Like a
just a
local,
local team.
yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know whether I should. I want to play, but also I don't know if I should. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because you don't want to leave the team stranded if you
Yeah. Also, just like the registration money, it keeps going up every year. It's like crazy.
yeah, or save it to move. You're like, what do we do?
I've got to buy new soccer boots as well. I've torn two boots to shreds in the past 2-3 weeks. Like they're just old, and I was at training and like the soles are like coming off and like fully split open, and my foot's coming out the bottom. It's like they're done.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That's so crazy. So, yeah. Oh my,
Yeah,
wow. But that's fun. I was just, I've always wondered, like when you're waiting for to see if you're going to get a vertical, or you might get that call. What do you guys do? I know that some people run, they do. Some people do part-time jobs like catering or bartending or stuff like that. I was shocked how many actresses and actors have other jobs, or pick up jobs.
yeah, yeah. You need it.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes it tough. I think that's why my 24-year-old is still at home, because it's so expensive to live here. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's the same here. A lot of people still living at home with their folks.
Yeah, my son was a COVID kid, in high school during COVID, and he's 24 now, and
So he was 02, maybe.
01, November of
Oh,
'01.
oh,
Are you
very similar. Yeah,
When were you
October
born?
01.
You were October of '01?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was November 20th of '01. So you both were
Oh
like
my god.
911 babies, and it happened right after 911. I mean,
Sure, you can frame it like that.
well, that's how. Well, it came from me from 911 because my husband was a pilot and I was pregnant. People were calling, "Is Jim flying? Is Jim flying? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "What is going on?" But my phone was just ringing off the hook that day. But that's how I always tell him. I'm like, you were born right after 911. That's how I always remember his birthday. So you're October what?
October 27th.
That's my older son's birthday.
Is it really?
Yeah, so I have a 38-year-old. I was 38-year-old born on October 27th. And then I was 40 and thought I had cancer and found out I was pregnant.
What a plot twist.
Big plot twist. So my son was 14 when he was born, and I was almost 41 when
Oh,
I had
wow.
him. Yeah, and he's 24 now. So that tells you how old I am. But yeah, so I'm supposed to actually be in Sydney in April for my 65th birthday to go on a
Really?
cruise, but I think we're going to cancel.
Oh.
The momentum of the business right now is just so much. It's like it's supposed to go from Sydney all the way to Vancouver, which is so ironic. Sydney to Vancouver. Hey, if you want to leave on April 20th,
what a ride.
yeah, if you want to leave on April 20th, you can have my ticket to Vancouver. Wouldn't that be funny? That would be so funny. But yeah, but it was going to be like 28 days, and I'm like, I can't be away from what I'm doing. My momentum. You understand?
You can't do it remotely.
I probably could, but I want to go to the Vertical Drama Awards on the 23rd. So that I can accept your award for you when you're not there.
You should. If it happens, you've got all my blessing to accept the award.
You should tell Jen, if I'm not there, if I win and I'm not there, Cindy Sorley will accept my award for me. Because she has more confidence than anybody that I'm going to win this.
You better prepare like a acceptance speech as well.
Okay, I will do that. I will do that because we're going to post this. Content. Hello, everybody. Harrison could not be here tonight. So I'm accepting this award on his behalf because I knew he would be the rising star. I told him that the second I saw that he was one of the nominations. But I nominated you. I nominated you early. Like, who would you pick as a rising star? So not only did I vote for you, but I nominated you. So, but yeah,
then you're like, so guys, this is why Harrison won the award, because I voted for him. And then you got a 10-minute rant. Just stay on the stage way too long.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got 12 verticals on him. He needs to I got it. Hi everybody. I am accepting the award tonight on behalf of Harrison Keene, who could not attend tonight because he is in Sydney, Australia. But I want you to know he will be a lead soon because he's won this award and we're going for a lead role. Who's going to hire him tonight before I leave this award show?
Or plot twist, you're like, hi guys, I'm accepting this award on behalf of Harrison Keene because he's dead. Bum, bum, bum.
Oh my gosh, that would be, people would
That's the start of the Jewel season 2.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? That's the start of, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have loved this. I don't even know how long we've been on. I have no clue. Because I don't have a time.
47.
An hour and 47.
According to the recording.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
I'm going to be honest with you. I really need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Everybody, we have to end this conversation right now because Harrison has to go to the bathroom. Harrison. We have so much content. I want to thank you, and I'm going to let you go pee. Okay? Thank you, Harrison, so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Cindy.
This is just a blast. I've had so much fun, and I want to thank you so much. You're amazing. I see great things happening to you. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your journey. I'm excited for your future because I know you're a star.
Thank you very much, Cindy.
Thank you.
So much fun talking to you.
We're going to have to do some more of these. These would be fun.
Definitely.
We'll definitely do it. We could do our own
I can't wait to meet you in person when I finally move to Vancouver and our timelines align.
Yeah, I will get up there. I will fly up. I fly for free, so I can fly up there. So we will make it happen. We'll do it. Okay. Thank you. And God bless you. You're a wonderful kid. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Later. Bye-bye. Okay, I don't even know how to stop this. Here we go. Bye.
That's a great place.